Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, history made yesterday on Capitol Hill. Kevin McCarthy has become the first House Speaker to be removed from speakership. We're following the story from Washington. And Hunter Biden was arraigned on the federal gun charges in a Delaware court yesterday. We have how the president's son is pleading and the stipulations he's now under following his release from court. Turning now to the Crossroads, Ventura County saw 3 migrant bailouts in the matter of 5 days last week. We spoke to the county sheriff and we'll tell you his take on the recent influx of incidents.
And we're going to be talking about the timing of that cold front coming on late Friday and those rain chances building up tomorrow as you take a look at your full forecast coming right up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 4th day of October 2023. The time is now 6:31 on our Wednesday morning and it's walk to school day and pumpkin seed day. Although, is today a good day to be walking to school with all that rain?
I don't think, maybe a little bit in the morning, but we'll take a look at that here in just a couple moments here.
And I do love a good pumpkin seed in my salad.
Right, pumpkin seed. I actually don't even know what that tastes like, actually.
Oh, it's
pumpkin
delicious.
Seed. But we're going to talk about those temperatures and that rain coming maybe today. As we're going to take a look at what's supposed to happen this week as a cold front comes our way by Friday. So what's going to happen is this low that came out of Western Canada a few days ago is going to slingshot. This sort of like a subpolar low, upper level low out of Canada, and that's going to go south, slingshot it south into the Wisconsin and maybe Illinois area as well. And that is going to spawn this large cold front extending from West Texas, from El Paso, all the way up to that Wisconsin where that low is, bringing us the rain and the cooler temperatures by Friday into Saturday. We're going to take a look at those temperatures as it arrives in our area. You can see up here in the north is where you're going to see the big difference. Excuse me. The big difference as that front arrives, as you can see right here, 57 degrees is that Saturday morning temperature in Amarillo and 59 in Lubbock as it moves through the area. But it's going to be in our area late Friday. As you can see here, you can really see the timing of the front as you take a look at the dew points as that cold, dry air moves south from the north. You see right here, Friday, 7 p.m. as it moving through the Dallas area, and probably be, if we time it out, probably about to our area about overnight Friday, probably 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Talk about this temperature today. It's supposed to warm up, be another warm one today, 92, mid-90s, and mid-90s for the rest of the area as well. We've got a couple showers out there right now. We've got a couple showers that just passed through Edna, moving northeast right now. A couple moving into Palacios and Port O'Connor and Port Lavaca as well. And we'll be taking a look at those rain chances and more coming up in just a few moments, looking at the full forecast. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Republican Kevin McCarthy is no longer the Speaker of the House. The U.S. House of Representatives voted 216 to 210 to oust McCarthy from his speakership, with 8 conservatives joining Democrats to remove him. Congressman Steve Womack of Arkansas read the vote tally and confirmed the office of Speaker of the House of the United States of Representatives is hereby declared vacant, and then hit the gavel. This is the first time in history that a Speaker of the House was voted out of office. Yesterday's vote comes just 3 days after McCarthy was able to pass a continuing resolution to fund the government and avert a shutdown with help from the Democrats. 25 News Now is learning that District 27 Representative Michael Cloud voted against ousting McCarthy. We'll go to Washington for the latest later on Sunrise. Breaking overnight, a mass shooting at a historically black university in downtown Baltimore. The campus on lockdown for hours as police responded and students left terrified.
Overnight, gunfire erupting on the campus of Morgan State University in Baltimore. At least 5 people shot at the historically black college where students and alumni had been celebrating homecoming week.
She's just advising that the daughter texted her at 9:53 saying that they were shooting outside.
The victims include 4 males and 1 female, all sustaining non-life-threatening injuries. The incident began around 9:30 p.m. Students and staff ordered to shelter in place until an all-clear was given at midnight, and campus police responded.
Morgan State University police officers were on routine patrol on the campus when they heard discharges from a firearm.
Local law enforcement also descending on the scene, and the FBI offering assistance as well. The mayor of Baltimore making a plea for broader gun safety reforms.
We are dealing with, not just here in Baltimore, not just at Morgan State University, but across this country of the United States, an epidemic when it comes to guns and gun violence. And it's time for us to get serious about that.
No arrests have been made and no suspect has been identified. The university's president says that counseling services are available for students and that classes are canceled for today. In Washington, Liz Landers, ABC News.
Hunter Biden pled not guilty to criminal gun charges in a Delaware court Tuesday. The son of President Biden arrived at a federal courthouse in Wilmington, Delaware yesterday to be arraigned on 3 charges related to owning a handgun while being a drug user. Biden's attorney then entered a not guilty on his behalf. Hunter Biden was then released provided he adheres to several conditions, including supervision by a U.S. probation officer in the Central District of California, not possessing a gun, not using alcohol or drugs, and submitting to a drug test if requested by the probation office. Multiple vehicles crashed at the intersection of State Highway 35 and Tinney Browning Boulevard in Port Lavaca. Authorities say one person was hurt. The extent of their injuries is unknown. Through traffic on 35 was blocked briefly while crews worked to clear the scene. This video sent to us by a viewer. It was around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It shows a truck scorched by flames in the back of a parking lot of Lowe's on Navarro. There's no word on any injuries. Authorities now working to determine what caused the truck to catch on fire. An explosion and fire happened just east of Shiner yesterday on Highway 98, just outside of city limits. There are no reports of any injuries. The Shiner Fire Department, EMS, and Police Department and the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office responded. Law enforcement says they're not surprised by the influx of migrant bailouts Victoria County saw last week. Sheriff Justin Moore says it's because bailouts come and go in cycles, and as law enforcement cracks down on the areas most traveled, the migrants find new ways to navigate to San Antonio and Houston.
Honestly, until there's an administration change at the federal level and we actually secure our border, we're going to deal with this. You're going to deal with it to a very small extent. You always have, but not to this magnitude. And when the federal government wants to do their job, then things will probably slow down.
The sheriff says if people see something out of the ordinary in their area, they shouldn't hesitate to report it. It could be migrant behavior. A lot of these smugglers use rural paths away from the main roads. 104-year-old Dorothy Hoffner has set a new record for being the oldest person in the world to tandem skydive. Hoffner completed a jump at Skydive Chicago Sunday in Ottawa, Illinois, jumping from a plane roughly 10,000 feet off the ground. At 104 years old, Hoffner topped the world record of 103 years old, which was set in Sweden in 2022. She didn't start skydiving until she was 100 years old. Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:38 on your Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The Victoria Police Department had a busy night.
This time in U.S. history, a Speaker of the House has been officially removed from the seat. I'm Liz Landers in Washington with the latest on what's next for the Speaker's gavel.
And we're going to be talking about those showers and thunderstorm opportunities coming our way again this afternoon as we take a look at your full forecast coming right up. Good morning, Crossroads. Got a live look at Cuero right now. That sun is slowly starting to come out and making a nice purple sky. Got a couple clouds up there too. Those conditions are also quite nice right now, 77 degrees, maybe even rather quite warm for some people. 76-degree dew point, though, bringing that humidity to a high 96%. So if you're driving on the road this morning, please be careful, as you might see some patchy fog out there this morning. If you're sending your kiddos off to school this morning, 77 degrees is that morning temperature, and partly cloudy skies as they're heading out the door. And 92 degrees temperature is the afternoon temperature. And scattered thunderstorms and showers are also possible this afternoon. We've got a couple showers out there right now, a couple out east of Edna, and maybe northeast of Edna as well. A couple moving to Palacios and Port O'Connor as well. Nothing severe, so that is the good news for today. The other good news is rain. We are supposed to get some rain today. We're going to take a look at the rain chances right now. We've got a couple of them building, especially in the afternoon hours, maybe a few in the early to mid-noon time as well. But not expecting anything severe, as all the severe stuff is expected in the north, up in the Dallas and San Angelo Midland area. We'll take a look at your full forecast and the 7-day in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. For the first time in the history of Congress, lawmakers have removed the Speaker of the House. The now former Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, says he will not run for the position again. Overnight, ABC News learned at least 3 names that could be under consideration to replace McCarthy.
This morning, the Capitol in chaos after that historic vote in the House.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
8 Republicans, led by far-right Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz and joined by all Democrats, voted to remove Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. A humiliating defeat. McCarthy served only 9 months, the second shortest tenure of any Speaker in history. His term bookended by Republican infighting. It took 15 votes for him to become Speaker back in January, forcing him to make concessions to far-right members, including a rule change that would allow a single lawmaker to call for a vote to remove him. That concession proved to be McCarthy's downfall.
He has failed to take a stand where it matters. So if he won't, I will.
Congressman Gaetz targeted McCarthy for working with Democrats last weekend to pass a bill to keep the government funded.
The seeds of this were planted by all of the deals he cut back in January. Even though Donald Trump was on the outside of this deal, his fingerprints are all over it.
McCarthy said he has no regrets, but said he won't run for Speaker again.
I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance. I do not regret negotiating. Our government is designed to find compromise.
But McCarthy is saying the move to oust him was about more than politics.
You all know Matt Gaetz. You know it was personal. It had nothing to do about spending. It all was about getting attention.
The House is now left without a Speaker, meaning no legislation can be brought to the House floor. The House is adjourned until next Wednesday as Republicans try to plot their next move. Sources say Majority Leader Steve Scalise, who's undergoing treatment for blood cancer, is calling members to gauge their support for him if he throws his hat in the ring for Speaker. Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan also not ruling out a bid. And another name being floated, Oklahoma Congressman Kevin Hern. Republicans plan to meet behind closed doors next Tuesday, meaning that we won't even have a vote for the next Speaker of the House until next Wednesday. In Washington, Liz Landers, ABC News.
Tuesday night was a busy one for the Victoria Police Department as they partied it up at National Night Out. The police, neighbors, first responders, and city and county leaders got to go out and interact and mingle with the community under positive circumstances. More than 100 people showed up at Christ's Kitchen. 25 other parties were registered across town, with several hundred people recognizing the big night.
Well, it's all about building community. That's what it's about, and that's our goal. You know, not just enforcing laws, but building those bonds with the community. And like I said, we need positive interactions with the public.
They had karaoke, games, a pop-up park, as well as balloon tosses. This event held every year on the first Tuesday of October, and I believe Coffee with a Cop is happening this morning. Going over to crossroadstoday.com to see the details on that. And the time is now 6:45 on your Wednesday morning. Still to come, the CDC says it's no longer distributing COVID vaccination cards. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday, Henry Jr. May your day be filled with joy and laughter, and may all your wishes come true. We love you, grandson, from Grandpa and Grandma Castellano.
And Liev Schreiber, star of the recent miniseries A Small Light, is 56 today. Happy birthday. To see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More, and under Home, you'll see KAVU to submit your birthday.
And happy birthday to my brother Rodrigo. I believe he's turning 19 today.
Happy birthday, Rodrigo.
Happy birthday. The time is now 6:46 on your Wednesday morning.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. We got another weather poll for you this morning. Today's weather poll asks, do you have any activities planned for the nice weather that is to come this weekend? Let's take a look. Oh, it's half and half still. Half and half of y'all saying yes, and half of y'all are saying no. You do not have weekend plans this weekend. To vote on today's weather poll, go to crossroadstoday.com/vote-weather and participate and see what everybody else is saying as well. Now, the reason we're asking that question today is because we got a cold front finally coming our way on late Friday, and that's going to cool us off nicely going into the weekend, as this low that came out of Western Canada is actually going to slingshot this upper level, sort of like a subpolar low, into the south up into Wisconsin and Illinois, as you can see right here, and that's going to spawn this large cold front all the way extending from West Texas and El Paso all the way up to the Chicago, Illinois, and Wisconsin area, and eventually that cold front is going to actually push south, further enough south into our area by late Friday, as we can really see the timing of that cold front on the dew point map. As you can see here, the time we got timed up here at the top. About Friday is 7 p.m. and it's going to finally move through the Dallas area. You can see that cool, dry air exiting out of the north, and eventually it's going to move to our area probably about, like I said, late overnight Friday, maybe even early Saturday morning. Take a look at that that 7-day forecast. 92 today is the afternoon high, and some locally heavy rain might be possible tomorrow. We'll be taking a close look at that tomorrow especially. But as that cold front comes through, look at that 77 degrees, 78 degrees on Sunday. That is incredible. We really need that. That's it for the weather. We'll have more in your full forecast coming up in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The CDC says it's no longer distributing COVID vaccination cards, a former staple of the pandemic. The white cards debuted in late 2020. It was a simple way for the government and vaccine recipients to keep track of doses and could be used to prove vaccination status for things like large events and international travel. The federal government no longer requires people to show their vaccine card when coming in from outside the country. And most countries have also stopped requiring proof of vaccination to enter. But the CDC says you should still check with your destination before leaving the U.S. Also, major pharmacy chains say you don't need your old card to get the newly updated vaccine. The CDC says vaccine recipients can get a digital or paper copy of their full vaccination record from their state health department's immunization information system. That leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you still have your COVID vaccine card? Okay, let's take a look. 80% of you say yes, 1% of you say no, and 19% of you say you never got one. All right, thank you for taking part in today's viewer poll. 7 Starbucks locations across San Francisco will shut down later this month. Starbucks leaders say the move is part of a larger evaluation of their store portfolio. Despite the closure plans, the coffee giant opened 3 new stores in downtown San Francisco in the last 6 months. It's also renovating 4 other locations. The impacted stores will close October 22nd. Employees will be offered a chance to transfer to other stores. Starbucks says no one will lose their job. The closures come as several well-known chains have left San Francisco in the last few years, including Whole Foods, CB2, Anthropologie, and Nordstrom. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A Venice tour bus plunged from a bridge on Tuesday, killing several people. A Venice tour bus plunged from a bridge on Tuesday, killing at least 21 people. The bus carrying 39 people crashed around 7:45. It happened to be rented by a local company to pick up tourists from the historic center of Venice to a campsite in the nearby Maghera district. Authorities say the bus broke through a barrier and plunged almost 50 feet near railway tracks in the district of Mestre, which is connected to Venice by a bridge. 3 children, including a baby, are among the dead. At least 15 people are known to be hurt, 5 of them seriously. 3 members of a Philippine fishing vessel, including its captain, have died. This was after their boat was, quote, rammed by an unidentified commercial vessel near the Scarborough Shoal. That's from the Philippine Coast Guard, which issued a statement today. 11 crew members did survive the crash and returned to land on Tuesday using their own service boats carrying the deceased bodies. They took them to Pangasinan province in northern Luzon, the country's largest island. The Coast Guard is working to confirm what type of vessel had rammed into their boat. The Scarborough Shoal, known as the Bajo de Masinloc, is a small but strategic reef and fertile fishing ground west of Luzon. It's a flashpoint for tensions between the Philippines and China. 4 people charged with election fraud in B County. They're charged with illegal actions during the 2022 election cycle. KIII reports one of the 4 charged, Carlos Salazar Jr., a former B County commissioner, is charged with 8 counts of tampering with government records and false application for voter ballot. An investigation found the 4 people lied on applications for voter ballots while stating they lived in what turned out to be an abandoned home in Beeville. Indonesia continuing to grapple with forest and peatland fires, especially in the province of South Sumatra. Reuters says fires in both Sumatra and Borneo have left cities and areas blanketed with haze and smoke. The government Monday denied the fires affected air quality in Malaysia. This after they later warned its residents last week of rising pollution levels, pinning this on smoke from Indonesia. A California elementary school teacher was arrested Monday after driving to school and teaching her class drunk. The Sutter County Sheriff's Office received a report that a staff member at Nuestro Elementary School in Live Oak appeared to be under the influence. Authorities soon arrived at the school and encountered 57-year-old Wendy Munson, who was in the middle of teaching her 2nd grade class. Deputies noted the teacher showed signs of being under the influence. She was arrested on suspicion of DUI and faces specific charges of drunk driving with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08% or higher, drunk driving with alcohol and or drugs, and child abuse with the possibility of great bodily harm. This story from the Texas Tribune. Texans will decide the fate of 14 constitutional amendments recently sent to the ballot by state lawmakers during the November 7th election. To read a breakdown of each constitutional amendment and the requirements to vote, come to crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, it's been raining.
Thank you, Caroline. Yes, we might see some rain today. If you're waking up with us right now, we've got a live look at Cuero. That purple sky is coming out. Those conditions are quite nice, 78 degrees, maybe a little bit warm for some of us. 76-degree dew point, bringing the humidity to a 98%, so it is a little hot there. And if you're seeing some showers out there, there's probably a couple showers out east of Edna, a couple coming into Palacios and Port O'Connor out on the south coast as well. Take a look at those rain chances for today, though. I'm supposed to be expecting a couple showers and around noontime and the early afternoon hours as well. And we're going to look at the North American model. It's going to look a little different, but more widespread on this one. Maybe potentially even locally heavy rainfall today even. But we're going to talk about the 7-day, but it's supposed to be 92 today, 88 tomorrow, and heavy rain is possible tomorrow with rain dropping about up to 2 to 3 inches tomorrow. And as that front comes through, 70s in the forecast this weekend. That's it for the weather. You have a wondrous weather day today.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.